1 hour abstract number 1. I've put matching colors here on the canvas, and at first I thought I'd use a brush, but then I changed my mind. And what I'm going to do is use a card. This is part of my old driving license, but you can use cardboard, you can use just about anything with a flat edge like that. That won't bend and give you a nice straight edge. So here we go. We spread the paint around. In my head, I've decided I more or less want a T composition. So I keep that in mind. So when I repeat colors, I repeat them in different spots. Notice how the paint sticks to the card, and you can spread it in different areas, even though you haven't put any paint there. So I spread it around, and I want some variety in the colors. So I want little bits of blue spread throughout, and little bits of purple spread throughout, along with the teal color. And I try to go right to the edge, and I just keep spreading the paint around. You want to create areas that are neutral in value, like a medium value, and that means colors that don't contrast too much but go well together. And then you want to have contrasting areas. My contrasting areas will be the darks and the lights. So I'm sort of starting there, and I have too much paint, so I'm going to spread it around. You want to repeat your values. So your values are medium, lights, and darks. So you want to repeat your medium, your lights, and your darks. I'm just rubbing the edge here so that I don't have a white line near the edge. Here we go. I'm going to start working on my composition. So I'm spreading the dark around to create what I was looking for. I'm looking for a T composition. So I want to create darks. I want to neutralize areas that are more or less in the way. Now it's easy to clean off this card, and you just wipe it on a paper towel. And now I'm going to add my whites to create my contrast. And I want to stick to the T composition, so I want to repeat it. I have to say, I repeat a lot. Repeating is important because it brings your eye around the canvas. And it's really easy. You just add more lights. So whenever your paint starts to blend too much, you just wipe it off and just add some more. What I like about the sharp edge here is it's really easy to just add more paint. And because the paint is still wet, remember this is a 1 hour experiment. So during this 1 hour, your paint won't dry. So you can keep working it. But I have to say you only have 1 hour probably, because acrylic dries really quickly. And depending on where you live, if it's very dry where you are, it will dry faster than the hour. So be aware of that. But because the paint is so thick, it'll be fine. It probably will stay wet. But you get different effects once the paint starts to dry. What happens is you get lumpier, bumpier kind of textures. So keep that in mind. But this painting I did in just 1 hour. So I'm just going to flip it around to make it easier to blend and add more whites. And sometimes it's hard not to go a little wavy when you're doing this. I find I have to work fast to get that straight edge. And I'm just smoothing out the colors so there's less contrast in those areas, and it'll make it more of a focal point where I'm going to be. Now this painting has neutral areas with the blues, purples, and teal just blending together. And right now what I'm emphasizing is the light areas that I blend into those blended colors, and I'm going to contrast it to the black. The paint after a while really starts to blend together. If you like that look, You can keep blending. I want some of the colors to show a little bit, so I'm going to try and work a little faster, make faster decisions, so I have more contrast. So wipe your card whenever you're done and go from there. I'm adding darks again. So you can't see it because I'm off camera. And unfortunately, my palette has touched the edge of the painting. It's going to leave a mark. I hope not, but it probably will. Again, I take my card, I dip it in the black, and I add black for contrast. So I want to add black there. I want to spread it around. I want to add black there. It's right here. So you don't have to copy everything that I do. You can make your own decisions here. So if you decide the black would look better in a different spot, your eye is different than mine. The odds are you will make different decisions. But keep in mind that I wanted a tea composition, and that's what I'm working towards. I wanted that, have that tea composition. So the darks go up and down and crossways. The whites go up and down and crossways. And that's my goal with the tea composition. Up, down, and across. So I'm just going to tweak. Sometimes you can spend a long time tweaking. Make sure that you don't tweak too much. Sometimes it's better to stop early. I decided the painting wasn't done, so I've let it dry. And now what I'm going to do is just add whites. So the whites, I'm going to use a flat, straight edge brush so it mimics the card. I'm not going to use a card this time because the paint is very bumpy at this point, and it's going to be hard to add. So I'm using a brush because the brush is soft. The paint will bend and go over the bumps. I'm trying to create that tea composition again, so I'm adding marks wherever I think it will strengthen my tea composition. So I've created a focal point, so that rectangle next to the white line is my focal point, and now I'm adding whites. I want to repeat those whites in different areas so that my eye is guided throughout the painting. So it's hard to decide. Your choices may not be the same as my choices, and that's okay. We are different people. We have different backgrounds. We will make different choices. What I want you to try for this painting is aim for the tea composition and for the blending of colors, and see what you can do with it. It will be different from mine because you are a different person. That's about the only reason it will be different. And the paint reacts differently. So whatever season you actually do this painting, it will be different. I use these small paintings, and this is an 8x8, I think. And I use these as sketches for larger paintings. So this piece is a sketch for a painting that I would do that is probably 36 by 36. So it's good that I work out my ideas before I actually commit to a large painting. And then when I start my large painting, it's just that much faster. So here's the look. See how beautiful the blending of the paint is, and then the contrast. So I have my tea composition and I have my colors. Your turn now. We'll see you in the next video.